everyone, this is Brad Gillis.
Joel Hoekstra
from Night Ranger. We're hanging out here, going to give you a lesson on some of our classic tunes and let you know that we've had a good year. We've been touring. We've had tour with Journey and REO and Styx, and it's the best year we've had since 1988. So we're making the best of it, but we're down here hanging out at Guitar World, gonna give you some fun stuff to work on. All right, so we're going to fiddle around with our classic, our first single off the Dawn Patrol record back in 1983, and it's called Don't Tell Me You Love Me. So what we'll do, we'll play it for you now, and then we'll break it down, all right? So the intro to this, I used a very clean tone, which I really don't have right now, but basically it's taking the two fingers up on the 4th fret on the G and B string, and bringing your high E in there too. Slide up and slide down in each one. So basically it's like this. And that's where the song starts. We'll start out with the solo with me and Joel playing rhythm, and then we'll just do the whole thing and get back to it and how we did it all right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so basically, when Van Halen came out in the late 70s, I was very intrigued by the harmonic dive bomb. So, I just wanted to be different in my playing, so I ended up getting myself a Floyd Rose. Actually, this is probably the 4th one ever built in his garage. The 3rd one's on my 62 Red Strat, which I played with Ozzy and Night Ranger back in the day and all the records. But so what I decided to do, I just took what he did and reversed it. Basically, I just started going. You start out low with your bar, you bring it up. Now all my guitars are floating. Floating meaning it can go up and down. You could do this with old Strats too. You loosen your springs, you tune it up, you get it to where it goes up and down. I use Big Ben's nut sauce on my old Strats and such, where I put it on the nut. You got to make sure your strings aren't too thick for the nut groove in there so it slips. The nut sauce helps a lot. Joel uses it on his guitars, but that enables things to stay in tune. But as far as Don't Tell Me You Love Me, to break it down slow, nice big into the pick. There's that little wiggle thing. Basically, it's just taking it down like this. Actually, I picked 4 times in 3 strings. Actually, you got to be standing up to let the guitar move. So basically, I was fiddling around one day, and I was playing, and I only had 3 springs on my 5-spring guitar, and I actually was playing, and I banged it. I heard this little flutter. What the hell is that, man? Where's that coming from? So I figured out. So I call that my cricket, or my flutter or whatever. So I incorporated that a lot when I played with Ozzy in 1982 and did a year with him on tour for this Diary of a Madman tour and recorded Speak of the Devil, that's when I first incorporated that style in some of the songs I did with Ozzy, playing all the old Black Sabbath stuff. But I incorporated that with the Night Ranger stuff in the first single, Don't Tell Me You Love Me.
I have the blessing and curse of copping Jeff Watson's amazing solo in the tune. And what Jeff came up with is this killer 4-note pattern that basically starts here on the 9th fret on the high E, and then it's the 7th fret on the B, 5th fret on the E, 9th, and then 7th on the B again. So the pattern. And Jeff just got, really, really proficient with that, and so he basically would play each one twice and then a little scale figure after, so that the whole part over the F sharp minor chord. That's a little just walk down the A scale or F sharp minors. And then what he did is, alter it to go with the changes. So the notes for the D chord then. So basically you're just changing the top note there. You're going from the C sharp note to the D. And then when he goes up to E, instead of playing a scale afterwards, he just kind of carries it through. He goes from playing, which is just the D 2 frets higher. Just move the whole thing up. Then he goes to a sus. So he changes to an E sus there, which is really cool. He just, instead of doing the scale thing, he just carries it right through. So he plays there. Then when it goes to C sharp, starts out on a sus. The high note is a sus. Then follows it up with some killer just scale work here in F sharp minor. Then he wraps it up here with a cool 6-note pattern. And then he plays the unison line up 2 octaves. I believe Jeff used to use economy picking on it, so what he would do with the first 2 notes, I hope I'm correct in saying this, but he would pick up on both. Me, however, I kind of grew up just being an alternate picker, so the way I approach it live with Night Ranger these days is to try and just start with a down. And it's one of those figures that you can translate into anything in terms of if you want to take a pentatonic, climb up the scale. Or, sometimes if you want to take it out, do like a little bit more of a fusion thing with it, you can displace it by a half step. Kind of get some real wild sounding stuff,
Yeah, I just go like this. Can't compete with that. So this is the ride out we do, which is actually octaves, and he's octaves up above me. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the ending, yeah. That's the ending ride out on Don't Tell Me You Love Me. So basically, when we were cutting this record in 1984, we had a couple ballads on the record, but I kind of knew in the back of my mind that Sister Christian, which our producer held off from the first record to the second record, Midnight Madness, that it was going to be a hit song. And luckily, I got the solo on it, and I just wanted it to be memorable. Like, I'm not a speedster player. I work off of sustain and harmonics and such. So basically what we did, we cranked the the boogie through the boogie amp in the studio, cranked it super loud, and I had a long cord going into the actual console room, and they had the mains. Not NS10s, not little near field monitors, the big old JBL mains they had back in the 80s, cranked, and I would just sit there and hit a note, and endless feedback through the loop. Like this. But it wouldn't die. So I just worked off that sustain and incorporated, some of my wang bar stuff in it. So basically it's definitely did the wang bar at the end. I've been using metal picks basically all my life, and what's cool about metal picks is you get more bite. You come up right on the tip of it, you just get, which you can get with plastic picks too, but it just has more of a bite. And people think, well, metal picks eat up strings. They don't, I use D. Markley strings, and I swear the way I wang these strings and stuff, I never break string. Knock on wood, I never break strings, and I'm always staying in tune. So D. Markley strings have been good to me. Metal picks have been good to me. And the thing that's cool about metal picks, check this out. I mean. It's like it's got this sound that you can't get with plastic picks, and I incorporated that during our show and a couple things. But as far as showing that one lick, it's the very first bite. Then I'm on the 3rd fret, A string, tap it on 1 octave higher. And while I'm up, I hit the D string on the 5th fret. Like I said, it's all wang bar stuff. I mean, I incorporate everything I do with wang bar. I mean, that's my thing. But and then octaves. I never tap, but I tapped on this. Wang bar at the end. But so being kind of me, kind of being a ham, like you haven't noticed, on stage, so I kind of have fun with it, and it's like. So I kind of had fun with it, I goof off with it. But luckily that was one of our biggest hit, and the crowd loves it live, and everybody sings along, and it's so cool because Kelly Canny, our drummer singer who wrote the song, he can't even really start singing it because the whole crowd sings along. So it's gotten to the point, touring with Journey and doing these big shows we've been doing lately with big crowds, 10,000 plus. Everybody's singing. Kelly just goes up front. He doesn't even sing. He just lets everybody else sing it.
So loud you couldn't hear him anyway.
Yeah, But it's been a staple solo of mine, and I was proud to have the chance to do it. And like I say, I work off of sustain and harmonics, and that's always been my style. And that song is a highlight of every show we do. So we've been playing this in the acoustic set with Night Ranger and having a blast with it, and we have a new title for it. It's called L.A. No Name. And here we go. you very much. What I wanted to show you guys is some fun stuff to do with the whammy bar, because a lot of it is tricks and licks, but it's really fun things to do. I mean, I'll just show you a couple things. This is on the G string, hitting going up the high top to down to the G here, and then here and here. Basically, it's a it's kind of a fun thing to do. And then I got into the Ferrari sound. I was screwing around one day, and I just, a Ferrari kicking into gears and downshifting. So basically, I started working on stuff like this. So that's my little Ferrari sound, and if you want to get into and that's if you want to get into a heavier sound like a big Mopar, you take it lower. I just started goofing around with things like the Purina cat chow thing. Just screwing around, just doing fun stuff, And then I did something on one of our songs called Touch of Madness, and that's where I got into this wiggle thing. Now, this is pretty intense. Wiggling the bar up and down, going the different, 7th, 5th, and 3rd fret on the G string. It's basically... started getting into wild stuff like that, and I just had fun with it, man. And it was all about having fun. Then I started getting into some different things, underhand tapping, because I didn't want to do the Eddie thing overhand tapping, so I did something different. Fiddling with stuff like that, just to be a little different. So, my style has always been kind of like doing weird stuff over. Instead of the norm. I'm not a shredder. I mean, I'll admit it. I have my time where I could play fast, but I was always into the wang bar thing. That's always been my thing. In fact, when Floyd Rose came out with the original Floyd Rose that he built in his garage, Eddie got the first one, Neil Schon got the second one, and I went down and traded a white Les Paul 77 Les Paul white custom for a Floyd Rose and a fret job. Oh, it's like, and everyone's going, "What? You got this little bridge and a fret job for that beautiful Les Paul?" I said, "It'll pay off," because I knew, right? Because I started setting up my Strats floating, but they didn't have Big Ben's nut sauce, and things were, I couldn't stay in tune. And I said, "Man, there's this new thing that locks it here," and I was so excited about it. Went down and got that, and it was really weird because I took it down to Stars Guitars in San Francisco, and they just heard about it, and it's a special routing for a Floyd, and they had to route, to get this thing on there, and I was freaked out because it was my 62 Strat, but they did it, turned out great. Then I gave my black Les Paul custom to put a Floyd in, and they're like, "Oh my God." They said, "We hope we can pull this off." Oh, it's like they didn't make me feel very confident dropping my Les Paul off there, putting this Floyd Rose in, but they did a great job and set up real nice. And so my main guitars with Ozzy at the time were my L62 Red Strat with the 3rd Floyd ever built, and my black Les Paul custom with the 4th Floyd ever built. So then I went and searched everywhere just to find original Floyd Roses, non-fine tuning. Not the ones that have, Floyd Rose on the side. These are the ones that have the dip. They're dipped in the bridge area here. These are the originals. So I have about 6 or 7 of them, and I place them on different guitars of mine. But this has been, and I keep my bar taut. It's tight, man. It doesn't go anywhere. Not dangling, not loose. I want it right there because I use it. I split when I pick. I do different things like this. I take it this, or I just grab it like this. Or like this, just whatever it takes where I'm at, just to be grabbing that bar, because I incorporate everything I do.
Thing I love about the way Brad plays, man, and it's like the performance is the playing, is the personality. It's all like one thing. There's no like, I worked on this in my bedroom, and then, you know what I mean? Like, he needs to perform when he's playing those licks because it's like part of it, It's like the whole thing is one, which is really great, man.
But it's always been my thing is a wang bar, and I incorporated it in the Night Ranger. I started with Ozzy, but with Night Ranger, and that's I just doing it live. I mean, just hitting notes and just pulling stuff off and wanging and just that big heavy, you know. You can't get that with your hand, you know what I mean? And just having fun with it and just as you pull off, you stuff like that. So I incorporate that in my style, and that's what I do.
I was really lucky, man, in that I had a teacher, TJ Helmrich, who's really killer with this stuff, kind of more of a fusion dude. Him and Brett Garsett have some great fusion albums out, and he taught me that. He was one of my first guitar teachers, just really random. Back then, it was like I came up in that era of, you know, the full-on going for the technique thing. You know, it was like Yngwie was sort of the staple when I was 13, 14. It was like, look, you got to learn how to sweep. You got to learn, you know, you got to learn how to shred with the rhythm pickup on the Strat, and you got to, you know, I've gone through all the phases of having to learn Satch and Vi. But TJ luckily taught me this technique real early on, and I'm able to kind of like, you know, just take a key and scroll through it. If I was playing a G major, able to roll around. You know, there's some players, Jennifer Batten's great to check out for the pentatonic stuff, doing two string. I mean, that stuff, again, that like goes down to like, if you want to take it in that more out way or get a little crazy with it, it's really fun to just toy around with changing positions. And just once you get a technique down, that's a cool thing, is just try, you know, it's just like messing around with your chords. Don't limit yourself to where somebody showed you to do it. You know, one thing I love to do is take this 8-finger technique or multi-finger thing and go an octave above. So if I was in F sharp minor, you know, you can get some, or practice your scales that way. Get your diminished stuff. If you just want to work on getting something down with like 2 fingers on the right hand, let's say, I'm just going to go with F sharp minor pentatonic because we were doing Don't Tell Me You Love Me. But if you wanted to, you could go 2, 5, 7, 9. Basically, you're just taking those 2 notes off the. Okay, and then what you can do is skip to here. There's the next one, pentatonic.